Hey guys, a couple of months ago, Stephen did a great video and we did kind of a shop walk around project. And in that walk around project video, we laid out this particular project. So today, we're gonna talk about our fuel trailer, what we did and how we put it together and all those kind of things. A little background on this video. This trailer comes from the movie quiet generators that we put on the Peterbilt truck. And so when we take the movie quiet generators off to mount them on the truck, we end up with this trailer. Well, this trailer is pretty cool because in the base of this trailer, we also have 140-gallon fuel tank. We exploited that 140-gallon fuel tank. We capped off the fuel supply and return lines, but you'll notice that there's 4 tanks, 2 pumps, and then a tank in the bottom. And so that's important because under DOT rules, if you're carrying fuel, you become a hazmat and a CDL problem if you have over, different people debate. I'm pretty sure the reportable quantity for diesel fuel is 1,000 pounds, which puts it around 150 gallons or 140 gallons. If you get 4 containers and you have them valved independently, you can avoid having to be a CDL or a hazmat. And on this side, you can see that we have our 4 valves, we have our 4 containers, and we have the pump on the back, and we can fill fuel in any of them. I did the flow rate calculations with just about 5 or 6 inches of fuel in here. It's like 20 gallons a minute through a 1-inch line. A lot of people would ask us why we need a trailer like this, and we have 2 main goals that we utilize this trailer for. When we do disaster recovery stuff, a lot of times there's no fuel in the theater or into the affected area that we're going, and this gives us the ability to carry diesel or fuel in with a pickup truck and in a way that we could fuel up others. And with this much range, if you were going in what we call light with maybe 3 or 4 pickup trucks, 1 semi or something, this would give us enough fuel to get in and get back out and operate a couple of days. So this gives us a way to be able to have that flexibility to do that. We also do a lot of events where we're gonna have generators out on site. A lot of those festival areas are designed very close quarters, so having a big fuel truck makes it tough to get around. If you didn't have it all the way full, you could pull it with a side-by-side or certainly a light pickup, and you could get into tight areas. Another neat thing you could do is you could put it on site and you could fuel up like the side-by-sides and the lulls and the different pieces of equipment that you're gonna have on a festival site. It just gives us a lot of flexibility to have kind of like a portable fueling station that we can leave set up, plug it in one of our generators, leave it outside, let the solar take care of it, and you can come and fuel up without having to take your vehicles on and off site or having to run a truck just dedicated to it. So we have a specialty trailer dedicated just to that. It's a lot cheaper to maintain the insurance and stuff than it would be to keep a pickup tied down to that roll. So it's pretty handy for those kind of applications. It has a fuel gauge, and it even has a place for an electronic gauge if we decide to do that. We went with the better pump, the 20 gallon a minute pump, and we like doing the big filter. I think this is a 30 micron. We like going with a 30 gallon a minute flow, even though we're doing 20 gallons a minute. And you guys all know that by the time you put the pipe on and then you put the hose and the nozzle, you probably get down to maybe 15 gallons a minute. So having the big fuel filter prevents us from that being sort of a bottleneck in the fuel delivery system. We like to do swivels on our hoses. We're trying out these new gauges. They're not very expensive now. They used to be 500 or 600 bucks. You can calibrate them, so we're excited to do that. We'll do a video on this once we hook it up and calibrate it and see how well it works. Uses 2 AAA batteries. Pretty excited about it. This manifold on the bottom will allow all the fuel to flow into this back tank. At the rate that it's coming in there, we only need 2 or 3 gallons or 5 gallons per each tank going back into here to keep up. We also added in this T right here. If we wanted to put another pump like that on this side, we still could, and it would give you some flexibility if you wanted to maybe create this manifold system a little different, where if you wanted to segregate and be able to pump, maybe put gasoline in these and put diesel in these or vice versa. But right now, we're probably gonna be diesel or gas, since we have 2 separate compartments, the lower compartment and then the upper compartment. Pretty excited about that. We've got Kyle back now, and the previous bungs you see that come out of here are 3/8. He added us a 1-inch, and he's a pretty talented welder, so he welded in the new bungs at the bottom. Another neat thing we did is we did a lithium-ion battery with a solar controller. This battery system at 1,200 amp hours gives us 1,200 watt hours, and each of those pumps pull like 15 amps. So we could run each pump for like 4 or 5 hours, and you only run them for just a little while. 100 watt solar panel. We tested it, we can get nearly 80 watts with it just flat, no problem there. And it also has a battery maintainer so that if we like have it on an event site or something, we can plug it up and maintain the battery that way. So both pumps are fused and breakered into that battery system. We also have a DC to DC charging, so when the trailer's hooked up to the truck, that battery is also maintained. So it's going to be pretty handy. 580 total gallons, DOT legal, no hazmat required. It's pretty cool. Thanks for following along on this video. This inspiration came from a company called Thunder Creek. Go check their website out. They use this same concept, except their tanks are enclosed and they build these really nice trailers. That's kind of where we saw the idea. We also work in the Atlanta area around movies and events, and people have fuel trucks come out to do fueling of generators and on site. And I saw them coming in with these multiple tanks, and I started questioning them, and they were doing it to avoid the CDL and the hazmat requirements. It's not like we were the geniuses that came up with this idea, but it's kind of where the inspiration came from. Anyway, we appreciate you following along on this video. If you like what you see here, we'd appreciate a like or a subscribe. A comment is always great. If there's some questions you have or something that we could answer, remember, you can subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And YouTube will like your algorithm a lot better and send you great videos if you even forward it to a friend. They really like it when you do that. So again, guys, thanks for watching.